Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a world of wonder, a world built from tiny, repeating patterns, the fascinating world of crystal formations. Crystals are all around us, from the salt on your table to the gemstones adorning jewelry. But have you ever stopped to consider how these beautiful geometric shapes come to be? It's a process rooted in science, a delicate dance of atoms, molecules, and the forces that bind them together. We'll explore the basics of crystal structures and get into some wild variants. If you're already finding this interesting, I'd love it if you hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And hey, what's your favorite crystal? Let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to hear about your personal experiences and preferences. Let's start with the basics. What a crystal? Simply put, a crystal is a solid material where the atoms, molecules, or ions are arranged in a highly ordered, repeating pattern. Think of it like building with Lego bricks. You can create a complex structure by repeatedly using the same basic brick in a specific way. With crystals, the bricks are atoms or molecules, and the structure is the crystal lattice. This arrangement gives crystals their characteristic shapes and properties. The type of arrangement can affect how a crystal conducts electricity, how it reacts to light, and even how easily it breaks. Now, where do crystals come from? They typically form when a liquid cools down, like water freezing into ice, when a liquid evaporates, leaving behind dissolved minerals, or when a gas condenses into a solid. Think about sugar on a string. After a supersaturated solution of sugar water evaporates, it's similar to how many other crystals form. The key is that the atoms or molecules need to have enough time and space to arrange themselves into that ordered pattern. If they are rushed, you can end up with a non-crystalline solid. If you are enjoying hearing about where crystals form, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe for more science topics. Have you ever tried to grow crystals at home? What was that experience like? Let me know in the comments. Imagine a container of water filled with dissolved salt. As the water evaporates, the salt molecules become more concentrated. Eventually, they bump into each other and start to link together. Since they are attracted to each other in a specific way, they will arrange themselves in a repeating pattern. This pattern continues to grow as more and more salt molecules attach themselves, forming a cubic crystal of sodium chloride, otherwise known as table salt. The same process works for other minerals and compounds, although the specific patterns can be much more complex. The size and shape of a crystal are significantly impacted by the conditions in which it grows. If the cooling or evaporation process is slow and steady, the crystal has more time to develop and can grow larger and more perfectly formed. Rapid cooling or evaporation, on the other hand, can lead to smaller, less perfect crystals or even a disordered, non-crystalline solid, like glass. Think of it like sculpting. You can't rush perfection. If you have found this information about crystal shape interesting, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe. Do you have an interesting geological formation near you? Let me know in the comments. Crystals are classified based on their symmetry and the arrangement of their atoms. There are 7 major crystal systems: cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, hexagonal, trigonal, monoclinic, and triclinic. Each system has its own unique set of symmetry elements and characteristic shapes. For example, cubic crystals like salt and pyrite have 3 axes of equal length that are perpendicular to each other. Hexagonal crystals, like quartz, have 1 axis of 6-fold symmetry. Understanding these systems helps us predict the properties of different crystals. Let's zoom in even further and talk about the crystal lattice. This is the 3-dimensional framework of atoms, ions, or molecules that make up the crystal. The lattice is made up of repeating units, called unit cells. The unit cell is the smallest repeating unit that contains all the information needed to reconstruct the entire crystal structure. The arrangement of atoms within the unit cell determines the crystal's symmetry and properties. There are only 14 unique ways that points can be arranged in 3-dimensional space to create a repeating lattice, and these are known as the Bravais lattices. Not all crystals are perfect. Sometimes imperfections occur in the crystal lattice. These imperfections can be point defects, like missing atoms or foreign atoms, line defects, like dislocations, or planar defects, like grain boundaries. These imperfections can affect the crystal's properties. For example, the color of some gemstones is caused by impurities in the crystal lattice. The presence of even tiny amounts of foreign elements can have a dramatic effect on a crystal's appearance. If you're enjoying learning about the ways in which crystals can be imperfect, hit the like button. What's the most imperfect crystal you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments. Consider diamonds, the epitome of crystalline perfection, renowned for their hardness and brilliance. But even diamonds aren't flawless. Nitrogen impurities, for instance, can give diamonds a yellow tint. Boron, on the other hand, can make them blue. These seemingly minor imperfections drastically alter the diamond's optical properties, changing its value and desirability. This shows that even flaws can be beautiful. Now let's move on to polymorphism. Polymorphism refers to the ability of a solid material to exist in more than one crystal form. For example, carbon can exist as diamond, graphite, or fullerenes, each with different crystal structures and properties. The specific crystal form that a material adopts depends on the temperature and pressure conditions during its formation. Imagine being able to transform lead into gold just by heating it up. Polymorphism is almost that cool. A classic example of polymorphism is calcium carbonate, KCO3, which can exist as calcite or aragonite. Calcite is the more stable form at room temperature and pressure, and is the main component of limestone and chalk. Aragonite, on the other hand, is more common in marine environments and is found in the shells of many marine organisms. The difference in crystal structure affects the hardness and solubility of the two minerals. If you're finding this interesting, I'd love it if you hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe if you like Science Explained Simply. What common materials were you surprised to learn were crystalline? Let me know in the comments. Let's venture into the realm of minerals, naturally occurring, inorganic solids with a definite chemical composition and a crystalline structure. Minerals are the building blocks of rocks and are formed through various geological processes. Think of quartz, feldspar, mica. These are all common minerals found in granite. The study of minerals, known as mineralogy, helps us understand the Earth's history and composition. The color of a mineral can be a helpful, but sometimes misleading, property for identification. Some minerals, like malachite, are always green due to the presence of copper. Others, like quartz, can come in a variety of colors depending on impurities. Rose quartz gets its pink color from trace amounts of titanium or manganese, while amethyst gets its purple hue from iron impurities. A mineral streak, the color of its powder when rubbed on a streak plate, is a more reliable indicator. Hardness is another important property of minerals. The Mohs hardness scale, developed by German mineralogist Friedrich Mohs, ranks minerals from 1 to 10 based on their resistance to scratching. Talc, the softest mineral, has a hardness of 1, while diamond, the hardest mineral, has a hardness of 10. You can test the hardness of a mineral by trying to scratch it with different materials, like your fingernail, hardness approximately 2.5, or a steel knife, hardness approximately 5.5. If you're enjoying these fun facts about mineral properties, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Have you ever attempted to classify a rock or mineral before? What were the challenges you faced? Let me know in the comments. Beyond their scientific interest, crystals have practical applications in various fields. Quartz crystals are used in watches and electronic devices because they vibrate at a precise frequency when an electric current is applied. This piezoelectric effect allows for accurate timekeeping and frequency control. Silicon crystals are essential components of computer chips and solar cells. The unique properties of different crystals make them invaluable in modern technology. The use of crystals isn't limited to electronics, however. Many industrial processes rely on controlled crystallization. For instance, the pharmaceutical industry uses crystallization to purify drugs and ensure their consistency. The food industry uses it to produce sugar and other crystalline products. Understanding the science of crystal formation is crucial for optimizing these processes and ensuring product quality. Think about the perfect uniform crystals in a sugar cube. That's the result of careful control. Now let's talk about crystal growth techniques. Scientists and engineers have developed various methods for growing crystals in the lab. These methods allow them to control the size, shape, and purity of the crystals. One common technique is the Geochemistry process, used to grow large single crystals of silicon for the semiconductor industry. Another technique is hydrothermal synthesis, which uses high-temperature, high-pressure water to dissolve and recrystallize minerals. The hydrothermal method mimics the natural processes that occur deep within the Earth. By creating these conditions in the lab, scientists can grow crystals that are difficult or impossible to obtain through other methods. This technique is used to grow synthetic quartz, emeralds, and rubies, which are used in jewelry and other applications. It's like recreating a little piece of the Earth's core in a controlled environment. If you've been learning new things this video so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more. Have you ever seen synthetic crystals that were hard to distinguish from natural ones? Let me know in the comments. Another interesting area of crystal research is liquid crystals. Liquid crystals are substances that exhibit properties of both liquids and solids. They can flow like liquids, but also have some degree of molecular order like solids. Liquid crystals are used in LCD displays in your phones, TVs, and computer screens. The alignment of liquid crystal molecules can be controlled by an electric field, allowing for the creation of images. Beyond simple substances, crystals can form complex structures that can even mimic living organisms. For example, chemical gardens are fascinating structures formed when metal salts are placed in a solution of sodium silicate. The metal salts react with the silicate to form a semi-permeable membrane, which then ruptures and allows more salt solution to enter, causing the structure to grow upwards in tube-like shapes. These formations look remarkably like plant stalks. We can even find crystals in living organisms. For example, the otoliths in our inner ears are tiny crystals of calcium carbonate that help us maintain balance. Some plants also contain crystals of calcium oxalate, which may serve as a defense mechanism against herbivores. Even the enamel of our teeth contains tiny crystals of hydroxyapatite, which give it its hardness and strength. Crystals really are everywhere. Let's briefly consider the field of crystallography, a powerful tool used to determine the atomic and molecular structure of crystals. Crystallographers use X-ray diffraction to analyze the patterns created when X-rays pass through a crystal. By analyzing these patterns, they can determine the arrangement of atoms within the crystal lattice. This technique has been instrumental in understanding the structure of DNA, proteins, and countless other materials. X-ray crystallography works because the atoms in a crystal act like tiny obstacles that scatter X-rays. The scattered X-rays interfere with each other, creating a diffraction pattern. This pattern is unique to each crystal structure, like a fingerprint. By analyzing the angles and intensities of the diffracted beams, scientists can calculate the positions of the atoms in the crystal. It's a complex mathematical puzzle, but the results are incredibly rewarding. If you are enjoying learning about how crystallography works, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe. Were you aware crystallography can be used to solve the structure of molecules like DNA? Let me know in the comments. The science of crystal formations is not just about understanding static structures, it's also about understanding the dynamics of crystal growth and dissolution. Scientists are developing computer simulations to model these processes, which can help them predict how crystals will behave under different conditions. This knowledge is crucial for designing new materials and optimizing industrial processes. We are now entering an era where complex phenomena can be explained and sometimes even predicted using modern computing power. Crystal gazing, also known as scrying, is the practice of looking into a crystal ball or other transparent object for divination purposes. While there's no scientific evidence to support the claims of crystal gazing, it's an interesting example of how crystals have been perceived and used in different cultures throughout history. It goes to show how we project our own narratives and expectations onto even the most unassuming objects. If you're enjoying these little extra bits of info, be sure to hit the like button. Do you think there's a placebo effect associated with crystal gazing? Let me know in the comments. While crystal gazing is pseudoscientific, the use of crystals in alternative medicine is a contentious topic. Some people believe that crystals have healing properties and can be used to treat various ailments. However, there's no scientific evidence to support these claims. The perceived benefits are likely due to the placebo effect. It's important to distinguish between scientific facts and unsubstantiated beliefs. While some people may find comfort in using crystals for therapeutic purposes, it's crucial to be informed and critical. Let's return to science and discuss biomineralization, the process by which living organisms produce minerals. Many organisms, from bacteria to humans, use biomineralization to create structures like bones, teeth, and shells. These biominerals often have unique properties and structures that are different from those formed through geological processes. Studying biomineralization can provide insights into new ways to design and synthesize materials. If you are having fun learning new things, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe for more. What other things do living organisms make that you find amazing? Let me know in the comments. Consider the intricate shells of diatoms, single-celled algae that create beautiful silica structures. Or the magnetic crystals produced by magnetotactic bacteria, which help them navigate in the Earth's magnetic field. These examples demonstrate the amazing diversity and complexity of biomineralization. Nature is a master of materials science. The science of crystal formations is a vast and fascinating field that touches upon many different disciplines, from physics and chemistry to geology and biology. It's a field that is constantly evolving, with new discoveries and applications being made all the time. By understanding the principles of crystal formation, we can unlock new possibilities for materials, science, technology, and medicine. If you have enjoyed this presentation on the science of crystal formations, please hit that like button and subscribe. What other scientific topics are you interested in hearing more about? Let me know in the comments. Crystals are more than just pretty rocks. They are a testament to the beauty and order that can arise from simple physical laws. They are a reminder that even the most complex structures can be built from repeating patterns and fundamental interactions. I hope this presentation has sparked your curiosity and given you a new appreciation for the science of crystal formations. It's a journey that extends far beyond the surface, delving into the very nature of matter. Be curious. Think oddly.